Hey guys, I'm Sage Valentine and I'm back here to review another episode of CBS's Celebrity Big Brother Season 1. This video is all about episode 6. Happy Valentine's Day, and it's crazy how today is also Ash Wednesday, which meant that as a Catholic I couldn't eat any red meat today. I can't have any red meat on Friday and the consecutive Fridays until basically after Good Friday, so no meat for me on Fridays. But let's get down to this review. Pretty much, the opening scene is all about everybody's feelings in regard to Keisha leaving because of the situation with her breast milk and her baby, and the idea of not having enough milk to feed her baby by the time she leaves the house. In her eyes, it was a very dire situation. I honestly, as someone who doesn't have any children at this point, I don't know anything in regards to breastfeeding. So if she felt like she had to go, then she had to go. That's how I feel about that situation. Omarosa was really worried about her game. I think she was also worried about Keisha, and she thanked Ross and the rest of the group for listening to Keisha and getting her out of the house. Marissa is bummed because that situation with Keisha pretty much messed up the backdoor plan. You know, the plan to backdoor Shannon and everything. Brandy is highly upset. She seems to echo the sentiment of quite a few fans on social media, on Tumblr, Twitter, probably Facebook, because I haven't looked at Facebook at this point in regards to the show. I've been looking mostly at Tumblr and Twitter. And a lot of people are pissed that Keisha wanted to leave because of the breastfeeding situation. They were giving their own opinions about it. But again, I don't have a horse in that race. I don't know anything about breastfeeding. She had to go. She had to go. Brandy said it's not fair for Keisha to leave. And she's like, listen, I want to go home. I want to see my kids, but I got to feed my kids. The whole shebang. And Brandy feels like she doesn't have a chance in this game because of Keisha. I don't believe that. Meta World Peace is salty as all hell that he was not nominated when he wanted to be nominated. So now he's just like, listen, I'm going to play hard. If they're going to keep me, I'm going to kick butt and take names. Ross is just like, that was a waste of an HOH because of the Keisha situation. And apparently Keisha told James not to trust Shannon. Now, as far as the group is concerned, more than likely James is probably going to play it as though he's not listening to a word that Keisha said to him. But as she was talking to him, it seemed like he was soaking in what she was saying. So, and again, don't forget that James also plans on cutting Shannon loose, so I mean, it is what it is. Shannon's just like, well, Keisha didn't have to put you guys up. I mean, it was basically saying that it was her own personal choice, and I'm looking at it like it was kind of the group's choice to do. Everybody agreed upon it. I remember that Shannon was a big part of this along with Keisha and Omarosa, but it is what it is. Ross said that he's not working with James and Shannon. He's basically making them think that he is. But he has to make sure that they don't find out about this backdoor plan to get out Shannon or James. Mostly Shannon. As far as the HOH competition is concerned, Mark threw it so that he could continue floating, and I have no beef with him on that because at this point he's not really on anybody's radar, so he can kind of just float in the middle and let everything happen around him. But as the great Rachel Riley said, floaters need to grab a life raft. Eventually this will catch up to him. I'm sure that he planned what he's going to do, but again, this is a game that lasts, 3 weeks? So he's going to have to really start playing pretty soon. But for now, if he wants to float, let him float. Shannon is so excited about Ari being HOH because she believes that Ari will put up Omarosa as per the plan. I'm like, you thought that's what she was going to do. Ari and Omarosa are pretty close. The plan is to backdoor Shannon. James wants Omarosa and Meta World Peace nominated, and I'm just like, I could see Omarosa because Omarosa was already like put out there as a threat because she has a pretty good social game at this point. Meta World Peace, I'm kind of like, why? Like, for the most part, Meta's having fun with his flamingos and being silly and taking his showers and talking to the camera and stuff. So for the most part, he's pretty harmless. I'm trying to figure out what James' rationale is as far as nominating Meta. But Meta is pretty much salty about not being nominated, and he said he's going to make sure that they regret that they did not nominate him week one, meaning that he is going to probably kick ass and take names, and a lot of people think that he has a big chance to win the game, and honestly, I think that he does because people are underestimating him at this point in the game. Omarosa starts talking a little bit more about Trump in the White House. Ari walks into her HOH room in another scene, and she's talking to Ross, Marissa, and Brandy, and the deal is they want to either backdoor Shannon or James, but Ari really wants to backdoor Shannon. All these folks in the room agree to put up Shannon and James, but again, Ari wants Shannon gone. The scene where Ari reveals that she doesn't want Shannon to corner her was so funny. Some people didn't find it funny, but I thought it was funny. Ari's like, listen, I made up my mind about who I'm nominating, and I don't want to talk to Shannon because Shannon will come and she will use her social skills to try to get me to her side or talk me out of it. So the deal is that Omarosa and Meta have to kind of stay in the area so that Ari and Shannon never talk alone. But mostly Meta has to stay upstairs in the HOH room and kind of block the conversation. So Shannon comes up to the HOH room. She waits outside. Then when she finally comes in to talk to Ari, nobody in that room will allow her to talk to Ari. And since Meta won't leave the room, she leaves. That entire group in that room thinks that Shannon is crazy. Shannon feels like the whole house is targeting her. I'm like, yeah, it is Big Brother, so everybody's pretty much targeting everybody else at this point. Shannon says it's so obvious, I guess, that they want her out, and she's ready to go home. She feels like she's being attacked, again with the attack thing. I have yet to see anyone attack her. I've seen instances where she has spoken to people and talked to people, and the conversations have become a little bit heated, but I haven't seen anybody yelling and screaming at her. Not at all. The scene where Ari reveals that she doesn't want Shannon to corner her was so funny. Some people didn't find it funny, but I thought it was funny. Ari's like, listen, I made up my mind about who I'm nominating, and I don't want to talk to Shannon because Shannon will come and she will use her social skills to try to get me to her side or talk me out of it. So the deal is that Omarosa and Meta have to kind of stay in the area so that Ari and Shannon never talk alone. But mostly Meta has to stay upstairs in the HOH room and kind of block the conversation. So Shannon comes up to the HOH room. She waits outside. Then when she finally comes in to talk to Ari, nobody in that room will allow her to talk to Ari. And since Meta won't leave the room, she leaves. That entire group in that room thinks that Shannon is crazy. Shannon feels like the whole house is targeting her. I'm like, yeah, it is Big Brother, so everybody's pretty much targeting everybody else at this point. Shannon says it's so obvious, I guess, that they want her out, and she's ready to go home. She feels like she's being attacked, again with the attack thing. I have yet to see anyone attack her. I've seen instances where she has spoken to people and talked to people, and the conversations have become a little bit heated, but I haven't seen anybody yelling and screaming at her. Not at all. It's amazing how it kind of took Shannon this long to catch on, considering how everybody was, well, everyone save for her and James were hopping around and happy that... Anyway, James and Shannon end up being nominated. Ari says she nominated them because they're the biggest competitors, they're the biggest threats, and she's not afraid to make a big move. It's about time somebody made a big move. James thinks that Ari is following Brandy, as if Ari does not have an original thought in her head. She seems like a very smart woman. I guess the idea of her being a quote-unquote beauty queen means that she is stupid. No, those beauty queens are smart ladies. They're not just some bimbo that looks good in a dress and wears makeup and all that stuff. No. Those girls are smart. Kind of like the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders and the other NFL cheerleaders. They're beautiful. They're bodacious. They're intelligent women. Ari's not stupid. And I'm side-eyeing James for thinking that she's stupid. Shannon feels like she doesn't have a chance with everyone against her. I'm like, honey, in Big Brother, people have gone against worst odds and have come back to life. For example, Dan and his funeral. That's all I gotta say. If you don't know what I'm talking about in regards to Dan Giesling, I believe that's his last name, and his funeral in, I believe it was season 14, look it up. Because he was at the bottom of the barrel and he came out on top. So she can do it. And Lady O is just like Omarosa. She's like, well, revenge is a dish best served cold. Listen, as far as the feeds are concerned, at this point, Shannon is pretty comfortable, and the group has kind of convinced her that she's safe and they're going to try to get out James. But you know how Big Brother is. You got to expect the unexpected. And apparently Friday's episode is going to be a doozy. So I'm looking forward to that. You all take care. And I'll be back to review episode 7. So until next time, I love you all. Bye, guys. Have a very happy Valentine's Day. And to all you Catholics, it's Ash Wednesday. We're not supposed to eat meat. And yeah, I know I don't have the ashes, but I still don't eat meat. I haven't eaten meat on a Ash Wednesday or on a Friday in Lent or during Lent in a very, very, very long time. I've been a Catholic since I was 12, so yeah. But I love you all. Take care, and I'll be back on Friday to do another review. So until then, bye guys. Love you all. Bye.